I did it. I got you with the clickbait, didn't I? But no. In all fairness, I'm going to make a bold and likely incorrect assumption based on what we're seeing. And actually, I'll say it, then I'll walk it back. I think we're seeing, I guess, a kind of demise of the Democrats. And I will say, in 2016, they said the same thing about the Republicans. They said the Republicans are falling apart and they're over. So I get it, but I can't shake the feeling. Sixth Democratic debate draws 6 million viewers, lowest figure in current cycle, and they stress the Democrats have gotten nowhere near as close as I believe it's 24 million people who tuned in to see Donald Trump. I think these trends we're seeing, the outrage over impeachment, the failures to campaign on anything, the economy. Let me show you something. I got this tweet. This is a tough chart for Democrats from James Pithokoukis. I'm probably pronouncing your name wrong. I pronounce names wrong all the time, apparently. But we can see that low-wage industries are seeing wage growth over the past few years with a major spike in the Trump years. I'm not saying it's all about Trump. I'm just saying think about it. The economy's doing really, really well. Impeachment has become very unpopular. People think it's an abuse of power. And now we're seeing that the Democratic debate, 6 million viewers. You know how many Trump got in the RNC? 24 million viewers. So when I think about this, I'm like, you know what, man? Nobody cares what the Democrats are saying anymore because they're not really saying anything. It's impeachment, it's healthcare for non-citizens, it's things that aren't really impacting their lives. Meanwhile, Trump as president is doing better and better and better. Not like character-wise. That's his biggest fault. But the economy, as the saying goes, it's the economy, stupid, right? So I got a couple stories I want to show you. Check out this op-ed from New York Post. Why identity politics and minority candidates aren't winning over voters, Democratic voters. And so I saw this, right? So I saw the other story, and then I saw the low viewer count, and I'm like, here's what's happening. Donald Trump, in reality, right? For those that are actually tracking politics, is a moderate. He really is. They want to claim he's far right. No, Trump's a New York Democrat. I think the only reason he ran as a Republican is because Democrats would never elect a billionaire. But Trump adopts certain, Republican policies. Says, okay, I'll give you this one. And then he comes from an economic populist position. He runs with, it's like Bill Clinton, essentially, some people have compared it to. Trump is not far right, staunch conservative. He actually has conceded some ground in like the LGBTQ fights, but he's not a Democrat. You know what I mean? Let me try to explain this. An old school Democrat, like in the 90s. I think it was CNN who said that. The point is, because Trump was able to attract new voters to the Republican Party, many of which are more moderate than past conservatives, as we saw from the New York Times, the Republicans have moved a little bit towards the center under Trump. The Democrats have nothing to campaign on. What do they challenge him on? In fact, they voted for border fencing and securing the southern border back in 10 or so years ago. And now Trump is basically adopting a lot of the policies. I'll put it this way. Trump played it right. He said, what do people like about what Democrats are proposing? And what do people like about what Republicans are proposing? And he adopted many of these positions, creating a populist center-right position. What can the Democrats do? The only way to contrast themselves is to adopt identity politics. For the most part, what are you going to say? Oh, the economy is really bad. Tried that. Nobody's buying it. The economy's not bad. People are seeing their pocketbooks. They know how much money they have. Let's read this story here from Variety. They say sixth Democratic debate draws 6 million viewers, lowest figure in current cycle. There it is, man. Nobody cares what they have to say. Last night's Democratic debate, which inevitably dealt with the recent impeachment of President Trump, drew just over 6 million total viewers for PBS and Politico, according to Nielsen figures. Topics such as the economy, climate change, racism, Afghanistan, and taxing the wealthy were also on the agenda. Apparently, nobody cared what they had to say. That total, which counts the PBS broadcast and the simulcast on CNN and Espanol, makes it the least watched debate so far in the current cycle, only just behind the previous MSNBC debate, which drew 6.5 million. Last night's squaring off reached more than 2 million viewers across PBS stations nationwide and was seen on CNN by just over 4 million people. Per PBS, the debate live streams across PBS NewsHour, Politico, PBS, etc., and all of the digital polled at about 8.4 million viewers. None of the Democratic debates thus far in the cycle have come near the 24 million viewership figure posted by Donald Trump's first debate on Fox News in August of 2015, the most watched debate from this cycle to date. was the very first on NBC, which drew 15.3 million total viewers, while the Democratic debate record to beat is the 15.7, who tuned in for the CNN debate from the 2016 election cycle between Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. Only 7 candidates took the stage last night, and they go on and name it. I don't care. I didn't watch the debate. I didn't. It's the previous debate that only got 6.5. I had it on in the background, and then I muted it. You know why? I really don't care what they have to say. Check this out. New York Post. Identity politics and minority candidates aren't winning over Democratic voters. Well, we'll read a little bit about this, but I'll tell you what, man. You know what I'm worried about? I grew up, okay, and I actually experienced racism growing up, okay? It had happened. And I grew up in a mixed race area on the south side of Chicago, so I saw these things. What's my biggest concern today? Is it identity politics? Not in the way they're framing it. It is the way they're framing it and what they're pushing, which is the problem I'm concerned about. So for someone like me, I look at them, I'm like, not only do I not like what you're saying, do I not care for the most part, when I do listen, I'm like, I think you're wrong. I think what you're pushing is dangerous. So I'll put it this way. You know, it's really hard to have political discussions because everyone's always trying to own the other. But I had a conversation with David Pakman, and he asked me about identity politics, and I basically tried to explain it like, listen, when there are some people who simplify the phrase identity politics to mean the authoritarian application of. It's a colloquial expression. So when I talk about civil rights and identity politics as a whole, I always try to make sure I say there are good aspects to it. And what I'm really referring to is the authoritarian application of, we're going to ban you because of the color of your skin, things like that. If we're going to talk about saying you can't discriminate, I'm cool with that. If we're going to talk about schools suing and being supported by the ACLU saying you can discriminate based on race, I'm not cool with that. So when we say identity politics, we're talking about that. Of course, everyone said Tim, David owned Tim because Tim said identity politics or whatever, but it's stupid. But the point is, the Democrats aren't offering me a solution. They're offering me problems. Do you understand this? You might not understand how I feel, and that's okay. This is the issue. Let's say, maybe some of you are on the left and you're watching, and you say, you're absolutely wrong about this. These things are good. Fine. Maybe they're good. Maybe they are. But you need to listen to what I'm telling you. I don't feel that way. I don't see what they're doing as a good thing. They're scary to me because I've dealt with these things. So then it becomes kind of obvious. You take minority individuals, mixed race people, you put them in front of this, and they don't like it. Turns out, according to the Hidden Tribes report, it's mostly white people saying, we know what's better for you. And sure enough, what was the debate stage? There was a hashtag, #DebateSoWhite. Yes, it turns out it's the wealthy white progressives who know better than the minorities. So when I see them go on stage and say, we're going to do all these things, I'm like, dude, you're talking about making things worse for me. You're freaking me out. I don't want that. I'm not going to support that. But I think what it really comes down to is we've heard it, right? We've heard it all. When Donald Trump does a rally, people turn the TV on. And, I got to be honest. Even Fox, even Fox doesn't air Trump rallies as much as they used to. They used to do all of them. Now they do some of them. So I think what we're seeing, to be completely fair to the Democrats, is that in the age of social media, do we really need all of these debates? But I have to stop myself there and say, while I think that's a fair point, it doesn't address the issue of Donald Trump getting 24 million viewers in 2015. In 2015, social media was in full swing, and Trump certainly used it. Obama used Facebook. So we can't say social media is an excuse as to why no one cares about the Democrats. When you factor that in, I think the only conclusion we have is that the Democrats are campaigning on things no one cares about. They're saying nothing. No one cares what they have to say because the reality is Americans don't care that Donald Trump is a bad guy. And when I say that, I mean like his bad moral character, mimicking body slamming people and calling people horseface. They don't care. They really don't. Because like I explained it several times in the past few days, if you got two people, one person's offering you a pat on the back and a handshake, and the other guy's, insulting you but offering you $100 bills, I think we know which direction you're going to walk. And you can say that's questioning the integrity of the American people and insulting. No. Hold on. Let me tell you something. How bad is it that Donald Trump is a mean person? How bad is it if the economy fails? And that's what it really comes down to. It comes down to American voters saying the Democrats have offered me nothing other than the risk that things get worse. But I can accept someone saying horrible things and being bad if the if the larger outcome is a economy that's doing really, really well. My kids are going to school. I've got a job. So in the end, I think the Democrats are looking for something to campaign on. Donald Trump has the economy. Donald Trump's foreign policy is, in the middle, not perfect, but it's less interventionist than we've seen from other people in some areas. Trump is not perfect. But then you think about what Democrats can campaign on. Are they going to come out and say, we also agree with border security? They can't do that. Then people just vote for Trump. What are they going to do? Come out and say, the economy's going really great. Vote for me anyway. No, people will just vote for Trump. So what do? They come out and talk about identity politics and other nonsense. Nobody cares. It has no bearing on their lives. I don't care. I mean, actually, I'll put it the way I said a second ago. It's actually freaky. But anyway, the point is, look, this is it. The Democrats were supposed to be there for the working class. They were supposed to be there for, helping you secure your labor rights. They're not doing that anymore. They're doing the opposite. Joe Biden saying we're going to sacrifice hundreds of thousands of jobs. Hillary Clinton saying she was going to shut down coal jobs. If the Democrats want to come out and be the party for the ivory tower elites of New York City, congratulations, you've done it. They're all there staring at you, but regular Americans don't care what you have to say anymore. I don't know how the Democrats will recover from this. It's entirely possible. This segment I've produced falls into the annals of history, just like the RNC is over articles from 2015. So sure, I recognize that, but I can't shake the feeling that so long as the Democrats are not campaigning on what people in this country actually want, there won't be a Democratic Party that is of consequence. Let me put it this way. The viewership's, it's kind of a vote, right? Trump gets 24 million viewers. They want to hear what he has to say, love him or hate him. Democrats, downward spiral. Nobody cares anymore. I think this is it. What's going to happen in 2020? They know they're going to get swept. They know they're going to lose. So they threw impeachment at the wall and said, unless they can wrap their minds around a real manifesto, some real ideas, there's nothing but a fractured party that no one cares about. No one cared what they had to say. I want to repeat this one more time as I sign off. 6 million viewers. Obviously, there are some people who care, but in the end, for the most part, the American people are not interested in what the Democrats are selling. It does not bode well for their future. Stick around. I got a couple more segments coming up in a few minutes, and I will see you all shortly.